Ladies and gentlemen, members of the Kapiansa Group, that is my distinct honor. Prior to introduce to you our guest speaker this morning, the Honorable Senator Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr.
He will be and could be and should be President of the Republic of the Philippines.
Thank you very much, Justice Raul Victorino, for your extensive introduction, not only of myself, but of all the other distinguished guests we have here this morning. Your comment, your reminiscences about those fateful days in February of 1986 brings me back to that time, and perhaps it would be interesting for all of you to have a view of what was happening inside the palace. Because of all the accounts that I have read and that I have heard, it is always the account, of course, you know, that the saying is that history is written by the victors, and it is merely the account of it is only an account of what was happening outside of the palace. If you remember, we left on a Tuesday. We get a little confused, ang pamilya, because that are given here in the Philippines are different from the dates as they were in Hawaii. So, para sa amin, February 23 ang nangyari lahat ito. Pero of course, within the Philippines, it was still February 22, if I'm not mistaken. As my father sent a message that I should return to the palace because he needed to speak to me. We have information, we have intelligence that there will be an attempt at a coup, and we have identified the officers even within the Presidential Security Command who are implicated in being involved in this attempt, this coup attempt that is going to be made. That is why when Justice Victorino mentioned that I was in my video, the battle dress, was because we fully expected them to start to come in, and we actually felt that we would have to fight for the palace, to defend the palace. Secretary Johnny Enrile already, and then General Fidel Ramos made their press conference, and that they had crossed over. Helicopters started coming into Aguinaldo and Crame bringing arms, and it looked like this was going to be an actual confrontation, and maybe even an actual shooting confrontation. And that is what we were preparing for. And I remember when the helicopters came and started shooting at us, and I don't know if the accounts include this, and the accounts that I've read always say that not a shot was fired. Many people were very badly hurt in the palace. As I said, the bone of contention inside the palace was my father refused to shoot back. He would not release his forces. We are still in peacetime mode. Yung katapat natin are already fighting a war. And I asked him, why don't you release your forces? You know, because we had prepared for so long. We had enough supplies in terms of material, in terms of ammunition, in terms of food and water for 6 months. We could have stayed in the palace and fought for 6 months. Kasi talagang pinaghandaan namin ang gusto. We brought the tanks back in, we brought kung ano-ano. So we were ready to fight for as long as it took. And sabi namin, gawin natin 6 months. Siguro naman, di tatagal ng 6 na buwan lang, pero at least sigurado tayo. So that was our situation in the palace. The trigger point on the Tuesday was when Ambassador Bosworth sent a message. It's something it is a message that he now denies having ever sent. I saw it myself, and our friends in the CIA also confirmed it. And he sent a message. He said, which is the usual excuse of the Americans when they want to come in. He said that some of our nationals might be in danger, and if it is determined that they are in danger, then she said that there were the aircraft, there was an aircraft carrier standing as ready to come in. The Marines would come in to take out the American nationals, but we all knew what that really meant, was that they were going to come in and start fighting against us. I'm sure you know the joke, when the joke that came out afterwards, when we said, the joke was, hindi kami gusto, ayaw namin pumunta sa Hawaii, sa Poway kami gusto pumunta. It was Poway, not Hawaii, hindi niya naintindihan. That was the joke. The Americans called my father, and in fact it was Reagan who called my father and said that I am sending a contingent of helicopters to you to save you, because there's fighting outside, there's all kinds of things are happening. And so we want we don't want anything to happen to you and your family. In fact, they were saying, why are they, do you remember the broadcast when he was talking to General Ver and the children? We were all there, because we were already, yung mga bata, maliliit pa yung mga anak namin, wala pa akong anak nun, pero yung mga anak ni Irene at saka ni Amy, maliliit pa. Sinasabi niya, palisin niyo na, kasi baka may mangyari, baka masaktan naman yung mga bata. But their parents decided, no, we are here, we belong here. At which point, my father said, okay, the Americans have agreed to bring us to Poway, to safety in Poway. And that is what we will do. And I already, nagtawag na kami. Everybody, bring everything to Ilocos. Antayin nyo kami. We are going to Ilocos. Sabihin mo lahat ng pwersa natin, lahat ng asset natin, lahat ng kakailanganin natin, dalhin nyo lahat sa Ilocos. And that was the plan. So we landed. We were taken by helicopter. I remember General Allen there in the dock in Pangarap. And those of you who have been to Pangarap will know exactly what I'm talking about. Nakatayo siya doon, and pagbaba ng tatay ko, pagbaba ng father ko, sumaludo ng gano'n. Mr. President, I am General Allen. I am under orders from President Reagan to take you anywhere you want to go. And my father told him, well, I think you understand that we have already signified our intention to go to Poway, Ilocos Norte. And he said, that's fine. But we will have to go to Clark first. And finally, nung sasakay na ako sa helicopter ng mother ko, tinutukan pa ako ng Amerikano. Sabi niya, no, we're leaving already, we cannot go anymore. And nagulat ako. So one of the officers who was in the helicopter said, no, he will take my seat because he's the son. Okay. So finally we flew. So we flew to Clark, and pagsak yung father ko noon. Actually, he didn't have anything very badly wrong with him. He just had a fever. So he was resting. This is already late in the evening. He was resting. Eto na. Alas 3 ng umaga, kinakot na kami ni General Allen. There is a column of NPA who are approaching Clark, and they are here to attack. And I remember General Allen, Tommy Manotoc, and me sitting at the table in some kitchen, one of these BOQ or something. And he was saying that, the situation is critical and we have to go. And we cannot do this because this, that, and the other thing. In other words, inaanan na kami na pupunta kami sa Guam. I remember very clearly because I was reminiscing with my Tito Danding, kawang ko, it was his birthday a couple of months ago. And I was reminiscing with him. Sabi ko, Tito, naalala mo ba pag take off ng eroplano? They provided security. Pero nakatingin sila sa tatay ko. Hindi sila nakatingin sa labas. Arma sila, nakatingin sila. They sat my father down in one seat in the airplane. And the supposed security was not looking outside, but they were armed and looking only at my father, directing their gaze at my father. So I said, these are not security. Let me just say that this has been a schism in our society for the last 26 years. And if this might be the first step to closing that, to finally bringing the country together, because this fight is still going on. If we go down even in all levels of politics right now, it is still Marcos Aquino. Mga tao ng tatay ko, mga tao ni Cory, sila pa rin ang mga naglalaban. Kung titignan ninyo, ng mga local governments especially. At the national level, not quite so. But at the local level, it's still the same. I remember during the impeachment trial when I voted when I voted against impeachment, the commentator said, yes, buboto kontra kasi Aquino, Marcos. And that's certainly not the case. That was 26 years ago. You won. The government fell. Ano pang gusto ninyo? What more do we need to do to get? Can we now talk about the issues today? Can we now talk about the future? Okay, now the government fell in 1986. You changed the system of the government. You changed the constitution, etc. Everything. It was now what? Now what? And that is what I daily try to figure out and try to put my mind to. Now what? And as I said, although it is a unexpected development, that our parties have coalesced. Well, whether or not this coalition is going to last is an entire other story. But that our parties have coalesced or in partnership. Then I hope that this will put paid to all of these comments that less imaginative of our commentators continue to go on and on and on about. And maybe we can talk finally about the problems that we have at hand, and to finally sit down together, work together, and return to that concept that you, all of you, who had worked with my father, that what we had all constantly heard, and it is a phrase that I no longer hear, and I no longer hear from our leaders, I no longer hear from anyone in government, and that continuing effort of nation building. We are not nation building anymore. We are simply playing politics, and it's time for that to stop. And it is time, and again, if this partnership that we have entered into could be part of that evolution now into the more substantive discussion and debate about what to do for our country, then I am happy for it, and I support it, and I will do everything that I can to make it successful. So that is. I guess in the last 15 minutes I covered 26 years of our country's history. Well, I just thought, because I became justice when you were talking about having gone to the palace. I remember very well all of you who were there when you came to the palace, and naalala ko lahat ito. I thought maybe it would be useful to explain to everyone what really happened in the palace at the time, and where we have come from that. And I hope that you will join me in this effort to bringing, shall we say, common sense back into governance, and less politics, less personalities, and back to the concept of nation building, which we hold so dear to all our hearts. Thank you, and good luck.